Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jacob Restituto. I'm a musician from Northport, New York, and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're doing Olivia Rodrigo, All I Want, the Genius. So this is cool. So I actually love watching these things. This is the Genius official lyrical and meaning background verified thing that Genius is. I've been watching these forever. I actually stole the idea from Genius and was like, you know what, let me do these lyrical breakdowns on my songs that I write and record, because I think these are genius. But that said, I was like, you know, why aren't I reacting to these? As a songwriter myself, I have 75 songs out there. Why aren't I reacting to these? I'm watching them anyway. You guys might be interested to know my thoughts on them. So here I am reacting to this song. I want one to come out for driver's license because that song is top notch. I actually very much enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I actually made a cover of it. But that being said, we are doing her song, Olivia Rodrigo's song, All I Want today. As always, you can leave a comment or text me if you have any requests. If you want to check out the Patreon, check that out. And if you want to check out my music, it means so much to me. Like I said, I have a whole bunch of songs out there. You can even join me on the live streams where I do songwriting. We have a bunch of people joining lately and helping me out with the songwriting. Let's see what we got. This is All I Want, Olivia Rodrigo. See what we can get from this Genius breakdown.
I've been songwriting for so long, ever since I could write. This was kind of my first experience.
She's a kid, man. It doesn't portray it, even in the thumbnail. This is the first time I've seen a video of her, other than her music video. But when she's speaking, you're like, wow, you realize she's really a kid, which is crazy. How talented she is.
I was writing something that I knew would be heard, but I kind of just had to remember that you have to come from a place of truth and authenticity, and so that's what I tried to do with this song.
See, right off the bat, that's really interesting because when you're songwriting, it's hard to be vulnerable. Now, knowing you have this platform, you're gonna write something that a lot of people are gonna hear, that might be even scarier. That's pretty wild.
I play Nini in High School Musical, the series, and
High School Musical, the series. That's funny.
It's just growing up and being a teenage girl and taking her SATs and dealing with boy problems and all of these issues that I'm all too familiar with. I wrote a song on my Instagram maybe 6 months ago, and I posted it. The Disney Plus executive sent it to our producers and said, we want a ballad for Nini, and we want it to be like this song that Olivia wrote. And so
That's crazy, actually. So she wrote that on her own. I knew that she wrote it on her own. I thought she wrote it for the series. I did not know that. She just wrote this song. See, this is it. This is why I come from the mentality of just writing, just write, release, and you never know where it's gonna go. You could have that one, she was already in the series, so she had already made it, but she made it now that much farther by writing her own song. And then she happened to be picked up. That's why you just got to put yourself out there, man. That's amazing.
Our showrunner was like, well, why would we have somebody else write a song that you want to sound like a Olivia Rodrigo song? So he's just like, let's skip the middleman and have Olivia write it. I wrote the song by myself, which was really cool that they let me do that.
Or maybe she was saying that she wrote a different song, and because they saw that she was a songwriter. I don't know about that, actually.
I feel like Nini and I share so many experiences that I was kind of just writing as Olivia and also as Nini, which was really great. It was a great exercise as an actor and a songwriter to get to write this song. Found a guy, told me I was a star.
I always appreciate when the artists sing these, because you don't know how hard it is to sing a cappella to your own song. And not only to sing it, but actually sound good. And she sounds great.
Held the door, held my hand in the dark. And he's perfect on paper, but he's lying to my face. So this first verse is referring to EJ, which is Nini's kind of fling at the time that the song is sung in the series. He's great, and he's a 4.0 student, and he really believes in Nini, and Nini really needs that at the time. But she finds out later that she only got a part in a play that they were doing at summer camp because he gave the girl that was supposed to play the part a rotten egg, and Nini was the understudy. And so she kind of found out that she got it because of this weird fraudulent thing that he did, and so she was kind of upset at him, and he also stole her phone, which wasn't good, and so he was kind of being deceitful, and she was noticing that, and so that's kind of where that line comes from.
I like the lyrical meaning behind this song. When I just heard it for the first time, I'm like, wow, this is deep, this is really cool, and well written, especially for, I think, a 16 maybe at the time, 17 at the time. I don't know, somewhere around that.
Does he think that I'm the kind of girl who needs to be saved? It was definitely referring to
that lyric was clever.
EJ kind of interfering in Nini's career life, and her being like, you know what, I didn't need you to do this for me. I can be successful without your intervention. And I think that's something that's so true for me too. I'm like very stubborn and I like getting things because I got them off of my own merit, you know? I mean, it's also just kind of a really empowering line.
She's very well spoken, like very, very well
And
spoken.
I think it speaks to a lot of different situations. And there's one more voice from my past. We fell in love, but it didn't last. So this verse is referring to Ricky, which is Nini's ex-boyfriend, and they dated for a year, and then she said, I love you to him, and he didn't say it back, and she was heartbroken, and then he broke up with her, not to give away too many spoilers, but she just was always kind of in love with him, but always felt like he wasn't loving her back enough. She felt like it wasn't reciprocated, and so that's where that line comes from. 'Cause the second...
So it's really hard to write to something specific. As a songwriter, I've found that it's easier to just create something, right? So, you know, and this varies per person, because sometimes people think, I don't know, how am I supposed to just create something out of thin air? It's so much easier to tell my own story, which I find true sometimes, but it's easier when you can kind of flub the truth, meaning, okay, I have this line, say, you know, I don't know, let's just make something up right now completely off the top of my head. I met this girl when I was... Okay, here's a great example. My wife and I started dating when we were 15, right? I'm 25, almost 26 now. You know, we've just celebrated our 10-year anniversary. But say the line doesn't work because, say 15 does the syllables 15. Say I need a 3-syllable word, you know? So it'd be easier to say 17, you know, or 21. You know what I mean? But 15 doesn't work. So it's hard to sometimes tell the truth and make it fit into the song, you know, because based on syllables, based on rhyme scheme. That's why I'm always very impressed when people like this, you know, another great example is Lin-Manuel Miranda in Hamilton. They had to tell a true story and fit it into a song, you know, and that's what I find that she had a specific script that she had to tell the story based on, which is very, very hard to do, you know. It's easy to tell your story, but it's harder to tell your story in a way that sounds musical without changing things. And I always as a songwriter admire when people are able to do that.
I figure it out, he pushes me away. And I won't fight for love if you want me.
Dude, the way she's singing, man, it's like she is just effortlessly coming out of her mouth. It's incredibly impressive.
That was the line that I kind of resonated with as Olivia the most. I feel this way in a lot of relationships. I'm like a very loving person, and I love doing things for people and serving them and, you know, giving all of my time and energy and appreciation into one person, and when that's not, you know, given back, it's kind of tough. And I think that's kind of something that we all relate to, even in, you know, non-romantic relationships. And definitely something that Nini was feeling at the time. And I say that I'm through, but this song's still for you.
Dude, I feel like I'm legit listening to this song, and it's literally an a cappella version of it, which is unbelievable.
So I say that I'm through, but this song is still for you. I think it's kind of this relatable thing where we all, like, tell our best friends, we're like, I'm done with him, he's terrible, I'm just completely over it, and then you like go on Instagram at like 2 a.m. and like look at all the pictures that you have together. This line especially is just showing how far Nini has to grow. This compared to like where she is in the latter episodes, just shows like her character arc and her growth as a person.
Character arc, what a line for a 17-year-old girl that you like. She's, I think, ahead of her class. She's gonna go places. Not that she's like way farther than most people already. I'm just saying, like, she's got a great career ahead of her. Because that's the thing too. Is like, yeah, you could have a great start, but you know, start young, be very talented. But if you don't have anywhere to grow, you're not gonna go anywhere. You're just gonna be stuck there, and you might be a one-hit wonder or a one TV show wonder and never make it. I'm saying she's gonna be able to make a career out of this.
This love that lasts is all I want. Too much to ask in this, and I think Nini.
Such a clever line, man.
I think I was trying to articulate how I wanted and how she wanted something that, like a long-lasting relationship where somebody just respected you and loved you unconditionally. We've all been there. Is it something wrong with me? All I want is a good guy on my expectations.
That melody's so cute on the good guy.
Far too high.
Probably one of my favorite lyrics in the song. All I want is a good guy on my expectations too high. Very, very clever. I also find that like the way she was able to connect that line is there something wrong with me? I think everybody in the world has ever felt that, and has always, like, everybody's felt that feeling is what I'm trying to say. She, you know, when something goes wrong, I think as survivalists and humans, we think, is it something that I did, rather than assuming it's something that they did. Unless that's your insecurity, you always assume everybody else is wrong. That might be something you have to work on. But a lot of people, it's like, is it something that I did, that caused this to happen? And I think that line very much made it very relatable to a lot of people. I think that line is a huge connecting line, saying, wow, I've felt that before. And that's a really important thing about songwriting is, you want to connect with people. So the really interesting thing about songwriting is like there's two totally different schools of thoughts. You can, one, have people that can create this complete specific story, like Billy Joel, Piano Man, or a lot of Ed Sheeran's are super specific. Like he's telling about a story, like he met a 25-year-old girl, in a bar in London named, I don't know, just whatever, that, like Gillian's Pub, right? And it's super specific. Then you have something like where Taylor Swift just created this whole story in her new Folklore and Evermore album, where it's just completely like she created a story. Like it's almost like you're watching a movie. And it's just fiction versus fact, and it's just a very interesting thing. But regardless, the whole goal is to try to get people to connect to the song and make people feel like it's their story, even if it's not their story, which is a very interesting thing to do.
I was actually talking to my mom about like boy problems, and she's like, there's nothing wrong with you. And so that's kind of where it came from. So funny, mom gets a little writer's credit. Sometimes being
Go mom.
in love with a person who doesn't love you the same way can feel kind of degrading to you, and you're wondering like, oh, maybe if I was like prettier or more interesting or funnier, then they wouldn't act this way. But it's totally not true. It's has everything to do with them, and
Yo, preach, Olivia.
to do with you. I think Nene still has yet to figure that out. I have really high expectations, as I think we all should have. Set the bar high, ladies and gents and everyone. I think in this song especially, I was just referring to someone who loved you in the same way that you love them. Somebody who's
there's nothing wrong with having high expectations, man. Good for her. Good for her.
Decent and has dignity and does the right thing. Try my best, but what can I say? All I have is myself at the end of the day. Shouldn't
I can't get over how crazy good her vocals sound.
be enough for me? I feel like sometimes I say like, I'm like super feministy, and I'm like, I don't need a man. Like this is like, I'm totally fine by myself, but sometimes I don't always feel that way, and I know that I should, and I think lots of people feel that way probably, and that's okay. I think Nene is just really working on finding herself and realizing that, she can be self-sufficient and self-reliant, and loving herself is the most important love.
I agree with that. So I think that there's a balance. Everything in life is a balance. I think that as humans, we need to be self-sufficient. We need to be able to work on ourselves on our own. But I think we're also meant to have a companion and go through life with somebody. And I think that it's the balance, though, because if you rely too much on that, it's called codependency, and that's not healthy. So it's just very interesting. It's a balancing act, like everything else in life, right?
And I miss the days when I was young and naive. Thought the perfect guy would come.
Dude, what did she do? Like record the song in one vocal take? Because this literally sounds like the audio from the track, which is insanity.
Find me.
Here I am recording like 17, takes from my song, and she's like, her Genius interview sounds like the actual audio, like stripped the audio from her song. It's insanity.
I'm very young
Crazy.
and still probably very naive. Past Olivia thinking about all of these ideal guys that she would find in her life, and not being able to find that guy, and probably past Nene reflecting on all of the people that she's dreamt up in her head and that aren't actually existent in real life. Now happy ever after, it don't come so easily.
Truth, and that's when the song goes, I think, from E flat to F, moves up a whole step, and she just transitioned. Actually, she what's called modulation, and she did it really well. Actually, the only reason I know is because I did a guitar cover of the song. I don't know if it's on YouTube yet because it got blocked. But that being said, it was I did notice that this song went from E flat. I believe it's a whole step. I think it was E flat to F. But that's true, man. Everything worthwhile is
I do
takes
still believe
time,
in happy ever after. Like I said, I'm still pretty young and naive.
I believe in it too. It works. I mean, 10 years, celebrating 10 years, me and my wife.
I think that it's definitely attainable, but who knows? Maybe it's not with a romantic partner. Maybe it's with yourself.
Interesting.
All I want is a good guy.
You get the whole step up now?
Expectations far too high. Try my best, but what can I say? All I have is myself at the end of the day. And all I want is for that to be okay. In the first chorus, I say, shouldn't that be enough for me? And then in the last chorus, the last line is, all I want is for that to be okay. So all I have is myself at the end of the day.
See, that's cool too, changing the lines in the song. I
All
like
I want
that.
is for that to be okay. I think it's really Nini kind of realizing that how she wants to be this person who is self-confident and self-reliant and really doesn't, you know, need other people's validation to feel whole and to feel good about herself. So I think her coming to that realization at the end of the song is kind of indicative of a kind of larger plot that goes on in the series. Olivia has felt that too, you know, all I want.
I like how she talks in the third person sometimes and also refers to this character and also refers to herself as I. It's a little hard to follow, but it's funny.
Nice to feel all right in my own skin and, you know, feel confident enough to then go on and have romantic relationships where I feel good about myself and I don't need anybody else, if that makes sense.
Dude, I love these Genius interviews. I thought that was really cool. I hope you guys enjoyed that and enjoyed my insight into it. Let me know in the comments below. Text me if you have any requests. I want to do this with more songs, so text me if you have any requests for the songs. If you want to check out my music, like I said, it means so much to me. It's Jacob Restituto, wherever you listen, Apple Music, Spotify, Pandora. I actually just did a song on my channel. We wrote it. I wrote it on the channel. I got a little help from the people on the channel, the subscribers, did it on live stream. But I actually, subscribers sent me some of their recordings, and I put it in the song. So I thought that was pretty cool. So, like I said, I'll see you guys in the next video. God bless. Have a great Restituto day. Hit that subscribe button, and peace out.